Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, so welcome to Yacc, yet another Crowcast where I pick a game, I play it for a week, and then I'll talk about it. This week's game is Retro Machina for the PS4. It was released in 2021, developed by Orbit Studios and published by Super.com. And also there'll be spoilers up ahead, just so you know, but first a little backstory. This game looked interesting. It has overgrown environments, like a post-apocalyptic kind of theme, and also it has robots, so what more do you want? So the game starts you out inside a factory. You're a robot working on a conveyor belt doing mundane tasks, and you're distracted by a blue butterfly, and the system thinks you're malfunctioning because you're not doing your job, and it basically tries to catch you. So you run away from the attacking machine. You roll with the circle button and dodge, and the square button attacks. So not for long, you're launched outside this protective dome into a forest, and that's where the adventure begins. So you come across like a billboard with a slogan or propaganda about a repair machine for robots. For some reason, the robot that you play, I should say, start with 20% corrupt data. So that's the thing. So as you continue down the road, you encounter these spider bots. You can either destroy them or press the L1 button to control them. So if they aren't detecting you, you can basically take control over any machine via this radar device. So these machines are used for stepping on buttons and solving puzzles, and it will be a lot of that in this game. It's actually a puzzle platformer. So a bit later, you get inside a building, you find this repair kit. So you take damage from machines that attack you, and you can, once you have a repair kit, you can press the triangle button and you use it and regain some health. So eventually you get to your first boss and you defeat that and you move on. There are some more button puzzles. And while you play this game, you will unlock things in the start menu, like files and images and information about the machines that you've taken control over, like serial numbers and a little cool like image display with it. And also later you can upgrade yourself. You get these parts from canisters. I forgot to talk about it, but they're like these stacks of canisters random strewed on about. You can break and pick up parts. At least I think they're parts or something like that. And as you reach the surface, the game starts to expand. So what I did was I reached the surface and I started to explore, and I immediately hit a wall because this game is, in my opinion, very linear. You need certain things to progress to certain levels and areas of the map. And once it expands, it's huge. You eventually unlock this fast traveling feature, which is dearly needed because, as I said, the map is huge. So this is a big spoiler, but through the end, you figure out the world hasn't been like this forever, and apparently the humans left the machines behind, and they traveled to space. You're with this like option of choosing if you want to go to space or not, and it's like the end of the game, I guess. So gameplay: fix your malfunction and return back to the dome, and figure out what happened to the humans in the end. Control: the left stick moves the character around. L1 activates the radio that control other robots that hasn't detected you yet. The square button attacks. The circle button dodge or rolls. The option menu brings up the options. The triangle button uses the health kits that you pick up if you have one. Graphics: the graphic looks like they're hand-drawn in Photoshop. Everything is overgrown, this dystopian kind of future, and it reminds me of Fallout a lot, this retro future, or what people thought about the future in the 50s. Like everything, like clothing and hair, remind me of that era, from the billboards and design and everything. Even the robots do, and it's kind of cool. Sound and music: Fernando Pepe and Clovis Vaela made the sound and the music of this game. And the thing that stands out in this game is actually the sound effects and the foliage, because it's really crisp. I like it. The music is kind of forgetful. It is like this ambient track, but I can't remember a single track of the game. Yeah. Easter eggs, secrets, and glitches. I couldn't find any, so moving on. So in conclusion, I wrote, yes, it's a beautiful game with a crisp soundtrack. On the negative side, the combat is a bit stiff, and controlling the robot sometimes with your radio is a bit finicky. You have to aim the stick in order to shoot your Wi-Fi beam, if that makes sense. But otherwise, it's a good, charming game. Reminds me of Fallout a bit, like the aesthetic. It's hand-drawn in Photoshop, I think, and it's definitely my vibe. It reminds me a bit of the Mechanarium, but with more greenery. So anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.